Welcome back to Crypto's Juiciest News. Baby dolls, BTC slightly ticking up. Is Tom Lee the most bullish man you've ever seen on Ethereum to date? What is happening with China? I thought they banned crypto. Now apparently they're launching a stablecoin. Did I hear StableCoin SuperCycle? What's Coinbase doing for all the degens on base? All of that coming your way and more. But first, friends, BTC ticking with the green emoji, 115,000 American dollars. We're just going to crack on and go through the monthly chart. Just as a friendly reminder that BTC is on now the 5th candle. We've done 4 green in a row. We are now on the 5th. If you really like to know, as we've seen before, once it starts to hit 5 in a row, it's ultimate danger. Okay, 5. It can stop at the end of 5. It can be the end of 5. It could be the end of 6. And then we just saw first time, never before seen, was the end of 7. We went 7 green in a row. Literally, I think it never before done. And actually, friends, I have just checked on through the history. It's actually true. We have never before seen 7 green in a row from Bitcoin. And then we did get the 7th when we got the Bitcoin spot ETF, which is quite wild to think about, man. That was literally a never before seen move. So I wonder, if Bitcoin did a never before seen move where it did 7 green candles in a row, you never know, man. What if altcoins do the same? And when I talk about altcoins, I'm talking about others BTC. That's what I'm speaking about, okay? This is the price of meth. It's at 3,680, knocking on the door of 4,000. So hopefully we crack on through. Remember, I covered for you yesterday, friends. There is the Ethereum revenge shorter. Remember that guy? He's still short Ethereum, got $100 million worth of short ETH, and he's out here with a vengeance. This is the Bitcoin daily chart. I'm going to go through and show you some blockchain backer charts, just like looking at his fractals. But yes, pretty much, friends, I was kind of hoping that we just go down here and just screw everything up, just so because no one knows what's going on. But it looks like we're actually going to continue the next part of the parabola. And then what's going to happen from that point? I mean, it's going to get very, very hairy, isn't it? Because it's going to be quite scary. I mean, I hope it's not over, man. Don't forget, friends, as well. Look, we can say, friends, this is the thing, man. In markets, it's not that the cycle is like destined to say stop early or go longer or whatever. It's not just that, okay? There's other things that happen. There's exogenous shocks that happen in the economy and things that play along the way with markets and business cycles. And that's really what ends up being the thing that everyone blames if they're caught offside. That's what they say. They go, you know what? Everything was going great, but then this thing exploded. I believe that I was turbo long for a reason, Bitcoin back in 2019, December, and then 2020, January, February. But then the world got the zombie virus, right? So a lot of people just see these things as separate, but it's very hard to navigate these and to deal with it, because at the end of the day, like, you might see BCB's chart saying it's all over soon, and you never know, man, friends. What if the Epstein Island stuff, what if the satanic ritual cultists, whatever the hell's going on, operating us? You never know, man. Maybe they're like, you know what? Let's just do some natural disaster somewhere. Let's just wipe out some city in America. Let's do some earthquakes. Let's do some fires. Whatever it is, you know what I mean? You just never know what's coming around the corner. That's why we don't do leverage. We buy and hold, and we believe. And ultimately, we're going to make it, okay? This is the ETH-BTC ratio out here. It's about 0.031, almost 0.032, but it's so low, I will keep rounding it down. Hopefully, this ratio comes back towards the Ethereum spot ETF. Yeah, man, what a disaster it's pretty much been for Ethereum, friends. I just looking at it, I know it's going to go great, US dollar price and everything, but no, there's no excuses for this. You don't get to basically do all this cheat code burning and supply and all these executive decisions and then drop 80% against Bitcoin after 8 years, right? So I do believe, friends, Ethereum people, I know it's a lot of cope, but they feel an immense amount of shame, and I think they're really going to fire it up. That's what I think. And they're not going to tell everybody what they're doing because they don't want to make it look like it's centralized, but I really think they're going to crack on. They're going to do some like huge turnaround comeback things, and the thing is, friends, we might actually look back at this scenario and go, you know what, but we are thankful for Soylana, because they came in, they liked the match under Ethereum's bum and tell them, hey, your layer 2 thing's trash, it's not working, maybe you got to like adapt with it, and then maybe that might have been the thing that actually sets them off. Total crypto though. This is how I reconcile it, friends. I know like they're saying it's all over soon, but like I'm just, man, we got to get to 10 trillion, bro. This industry is just worth too much. We're tokenizing stocks, real world assets. We're tokenizing stablecoins, okay? StableCoin SuperCycle, okay? Just those alone, man. Stablecoins, man, they're going to grow to 2 trillion. You know what I mean? We're putting all the US bonds and everything out here in the land of cryptocurrency. It just doesn't make sense for us to just stop anywhere near around here. Literally. I know the market doesn't care, but man, fundamentally, there's just no freaking way. We've won. We've won the tug of war, right? Stocks, they're increasing their trading hours, not decreasing. And they're coming into the land of cryptocurrencies. And the US president likes the crypto. I like Bitcoin. I like the crypto, right? We have all that stuff. We have so many more things as well. We have like not only the tokenization of everything, but all the stock market guys having a look at the technology we're doing, all these chains. You got Painlink, we've got ETFs. It just doesn't feel like this thing's done soon, man. And even when I go off feelings, I mean, like, who cares about feelings? But also, friends, the PMI is still low, bro. It's still low. It's still at 48, man. 33 months down. We haven't started. You know, man, if there was ever a case for an extended cycle, this cycle would be it. But we'll see. Let's quickly look at the Soy ETH ratio. Once again, it ticks down. Still ticking down, man. This is a weekly chart and it's ticking down now. Man, I made this circle, friends. I made this circle giant and it's still about to freak. Man, this thing, oh my gosh, it's literally going to come down. So you have to see it, right? I'm sure you're seeing it everywhere. Aren't you a bit curious? You're like, wait a minute. Every channel you watch on crypto every day is maximum soy shilling. Maximum. Everywhere. Turbo soy. Soy with your butter. Soy in your coffee. Soy everywhere. And you're like, hey, how come the price isn't going up? Markets are smart, man. It's priced it in. It did. What do you mean it didn't go up? Like, that's why when someone said, oh, but soy is destined for higher. Habib, you ran up for 1.75 years. Do you understand that? 1.75 years. That's 700 days. A very long time for a coin to run up, very long, is 180 days. That's 6 months. That's very long. 180. You ran up for 700. You literally blew the roof off. What do you mean? Like, the people are saying like, oh no, but we're destined for higher. No, what you just don't want to admit is that you sold the bottom of other coins, okay, to go and buy the top of this. And now you're expecting up only riches. But all you've got is, and like, friends, I mean, like, it's very obvious. You have LA Vape Cabal feet stuck in your mouth. You're wondering why things aren't going up. And you're wondering, like, how come there's all these, the Twink Dancer and all these upgrades and everything out here? Because no one cares about the tech, bro. You haven't learned it by now. You still haven't learned it. How much technology does Bitcoin have? 0. Thank you very much. Now, because you're a baby doll pumpkin and a sugar pie, I'm going to show you some blockchain backer charts, friends. Just so to show you where we are, okay? So this is it here. On the left, we have Bitcoin now, and on the right, we have the fractal he thinks we're following. Now, we are in this little part, he believes. We're right here, and he thinks we're going to follow this next up only for Bitcoin, and then when Bitcoin collapses, it's coming back down to the red box, back to 98, okay? And if you remember, friends, what I've done is, in a very family-friendly way, I did this, just squiggly lines, right? We're doing some astrology. What I did is I drew for you his chart. Okay, we've got a weekly here. Okay, his chart going up here. So what I'm trying to do, friends, I'm just trying to reconcile how can this play out, because you know why I'm interested in his move is no one expects it. Okay, so what I'm interested is I'm like, he's got some sort of, you know, squiggly line fractal that stops below 150K. Which I am very interested in. Because you know me, friends, I've been telling you everyone's selling at 150. And I've been telling you that literally since forever. Since last year. Like, everybody wants to sell at 150. Yeah? So I thought, well, what if 150 never gets touched? I hope it does, friends. I really hope it just blows through. But if it doesn't get touched, because here's the thing. So, you know, there's always two scenarios, right? There's the up only good scenario, which you literally never have to plan for because, oh, wow, I made more money than I expected. Oh, what a tragedy. I was not planned for this. You don't have to worry about that part. The part you got to worry about is everybody gets trapped. It gets sent the other way because, friends, it's not a vacuum existence here where it happens and then everyone's like, oh, let us join hands, eat lollipops together, and let us cheer for higher prices. No. It's not like that. You've seen it now. It's what happens is it goes down, everybody sells, and after they click sell, they now have a cognitive bias. They want it to keep going down. They want to tell you the cycle's over. They want to tell you the models are broken. They want to tell you this time is different. They want to tell you something's wrong. They want to tell you that you've wasted all this time and all this thing is trash, and now it's going to go down for another 4 years and you're a gambler if you hold it. That's what everybody actually wants to tell you. So basically, after they click sell, they want it to keep going down. That's a nice way of saying it like that, okay? So I want to always be mentally prepared for that scenario. So if you're prepared for hundreds of cuckolds to come out and tell you that it's all over and you are expecting that, guess what, man? It's just a matter of time before they capitulate and buy back in. By the way, you already saw this, friends. Remember with Donald Trump's tax thing here? How many people, every KOL was selling something. Everyone, friends. Everyone. Do you remember Copen? Ethereum, you're all going up. Everyone sold. And now they're like, oh, we might actually go to 200,000 now. Bearish here, bullish up here. Think about that, man. You don't have to think about it. You saw it, okay? So I'm just trying to reconcile. If he has a squiggly line that goes up to 130 and then comes back down to 98, okay? And then what? So he, friends, he really thinks it's all over here. That's why I'm like thinking, well, how do we get half of each scenario, but it doesn't really satisfy everyone? Well, BCB, friends, Blockchain Backup believes XRP is going to be $10 here. Okay, right now it's about $3, whatever it is. Yeah, he thinks it's going to be, I'll check it right now. XRP is, yeah, actually $3, all right, on the dot. He thinks XRP is going to be $10 up here. He clicks sell and it's all over. Okay. But then I thought, well, what if you don't get $10? What if you get 5? You going to click out, brother? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to click out because the market's not going to tell you to get out here. You're going to be waiting for your parabola. It's going to do a little lower high and pit stop down. So what I've done is, friends, I've just drawn this. See this? If you actually map this out, that's why I drew my lines here. This still creates a channel. Funny enough, it creates a channel going up. That is why I'm so interested in such a scenario here where we come back, we tap below 100K, it scares the living bejesus out of everybody. Okay, and then everyone thinks it's over, but actually what happens is that is just one of those boop, moments where pretty much it scares everyone, and then we can continue higher. And then the real parabola happens. Okay, believer cycle. And you know what's funny, friends? You know why this is extremely interesting too? This is, remember, this is 4-year cycles get out here. Yep. I'm telling you now, friends, this is, look, I don't want this to be the reality of the situation, but the 4-year cyclers, their last day is the month of October. Okay? So here's the thing. Look, this is just how markets, have you noticed the pattern? I always talk to you about these dates, and then when we get there, me and you together, we're hoping that we're pumping so you can take profit. Have you noticed we're never pumping into those dates every single time? It's always dumping to the pooper every single time. I've noticed that. So I won't be surprised if Cocktober, meant to be our green month, is a capitulation down month because it gets all the 4-year cyclers out. Yeah. Like they don't want to sell Bitcoin at 130. Now they're selling at 98. And their altcoins, they're paying like they're selling off like, huge. And then I hope, something happens for friendship. Okay. And yeah, it doesn't have to do that. You might say, hey, Simon, what if it's actually all over? Okay, then it's all over. It's all over. We waited 4.5 years. I guess we got to wait 4.5 more. That's why, friends, it's the believer's cycle, man. You know what believers means? It means that, look, I just believe we're going to make it. It's against all odds. I don't know how. I don't know the formulas. I don't know how to make a torus field. All I know is we're going to make it. That's all I know. Now, you and me on this journey together, checking all these things out, we've got to process a lot of things, friends. Here's another chart from Blockchain Backer, by the way. I'm looking at it. So you got to remember, friends, what I'm doing is we're just protecting ourselves. We're literally just hedging ourselves. Not because obviously, if we new friends, we've always got new people coming in here, okay? It's not about being right or wrong. Don't care about that, okay? Most KOLs, if you go do the roulette wheel spinning on the KOLs, they always want to be right. Oh, this thing is going to happen. Oh, no, but then this thing can happen and stuff. They're always concerned about being right or wrong because they're in the business of selling people confidence. You know, some people might say you're a con man, if you will. Okay, but that's what it is. But whether it's naturally, organically, or whether it's trained, I don't know. I don't care. I'm just telling you it happens. They're just selling people confidence, like as in, you know, this thing could go up or down. He signed up to my Bybit leverage trading, whatever it is. Okay, I'm not in the business of that. I don't give a crap. Okay, I am hedging for our literal mental energy. Okay, because every day, you've seen this, every day that ticks on, that's another day you realize you're not richer, cycle's taking forever, business cycle's garbage, you're seeing FOMO from other places, you're seeing people enjoy the LA Vape Cabal's feet in their mouth, they're getting rinsed by Orangey and the pimple-faced kid who's got an average hold time of 7 seconds, okay, telling people to believe in something, but then they're dumping on their coins on you in literally 15 seconds, okay, that's, you're getting this FOMO in your heart because you're thinking you're doing something wrong, and I'm telling you, no, man, it's just these people are literally circling the drain, okay, and we're just literally sticking to our guns. I mean, look at XRP, for example, friends. XRP went up 600%. Pop, there you go, 7x. Everybody holding XRP has crushed Soylana people. Crushed them beyond oblivion. Literally. Yes, because everybody who's come into Soylana, they're in what they call the homoerotic trenches, where it's a bunch of dudes just sticking their tongues down each other's throat. Okay, and then they're like, you know, having fun. They're having fun. They're in pink Speedos. They're worshipping their Vape Cabal. And they're getting rinsed. And, you know, they're using their mum's 4th credit card. Or every day, friends. Every day, go on CoinFessions Rec to hear of somebody losing money. They go, oh, I keep losing money. Yeah, golly gee, I won the one. You know, so that's what we're here to do. We're here to process all of these and be ready for the Jeet. The Jeet cycle part on the way down. Because that's ultimately what happens, friends. You see, mate, it's not the intensity of the dump. It's the voices of the people. Okay? If you just don't look at the dump, if you just talk to one person, like if you just watched me, I'm like, you know what? It sucks, but, you know, everything's still all right. I'm still holding, you know, and you just walked away. You're fine. And I'm fine. Okay. But it's not even like that, is it? It's when it goes down, you start watching all the other KOLs. Then it's kind of, this is the saddest part, friends. You know, up here, you know, they're going to be selling parts up here. So when we come down here, right, they'll be, you'll be surprised. Many of them will say like, oh yeah, like I was selling. And then you will say, wait a minute, you did not tell me you were selling here. You said you were going to sell like, you know, at Bitcoin 150K, which is actually here, right? You say, wait, you said you were going to start selling. You're hoping it goes to 150, 200. So you can't rely on them whatsoever. And they are part of the crowd anyway. And it's a believer's cycle. So ultimately, I know they're going to get wrecked anyway. I mean, in fact, they already sold a third of their portfolio on the bottom of the Trump dump at Bitcoin 76K. So there's more mistakes that are going to come. Funny enough as well, I was listening to Blockchain Backer Friends, and he showed this is the XRP BTC chart ratio on top, the ratio of it. And he basically, you know what he said is, he goes, I'm still thinking about how I pivot my whole channel when XRP goes up there. Right, and this is just a 3x. Is it crazy? He goes up, because he goes, I've been a big XRP maxi for like 5-6 years. I don't know what. He goes, I don't know how I'll pivot my channel. What do I do? Kind of funny. Like he's like totally turbo bearish there. Yeah, but what if it doesn't happen, bro? What if you're halfway? It's something to think about. So that's why, you know, we'll see. Kind of funny as well. Someone in the audience asked him, hey, if XRP flashed up to $10 tomorrow, would you use it as money to rotate out? He goes, yes, I'm all out of XRP. Just showing you. Now, why is he so bearish? It's very interesting to think about why he thinks it's going up and then down. Well, look at this, friends. His US dollar fractal, this is the Dixie. He's using the fractal from last cycle. He's using it from last cycle, which is interesting because we have different president, different interest rate scheme. There's a lot of things that are different. We're not zombie virus, you know, destroyed QE money printing regime anymore. We're just in a different regime. But it's interesting why he's taken that and he's not using the 2017 fractal of where we had 2 waves of alt seasons, which is 2 waves of the US of the Dixie going down. So the Dixie going down, it would be like that by the end of the year. That's what it would be like that. And then there were 2 waves, and that's basically what gave us a double bubble alt season. Now, friends, let's crack on to the news. We have Tom Lee coming out. Tom Lee saying Bitcoin is a replacement for gold and thinks that the 4-year cycle is ending for Bitcoin. Bitcoin should be over $1 million over time. He also compared Ethereum today to Bitcoin in 2017 when it was between $1,000 and $3,000. And he said Ethereum could hit its breakout moment this year. So friends, I've been watching him. He did a big interview here, pretty much discussion with Bankless. So let's have a just quick listen. He talks about Ethereum's potential for 100x.
And when it does, it'll be a step function. So I think the upside case for ETH is actually higher than, let's say, Bitcoin did 100x. You know, could Ethereum do 100x? I mean, Joe Lubin sort of has that kind of upside in his mind. You know, because Joe and I are in dialogue. I mean, we are really partners in trying to push ETH as a treasury, as a digital infrastructure. And I think that could happen because there is probably a significant probability that Ethereum could flip Bitcoin as well. Whoa! In terms of network value. And then, if you're, if someone thinks Bitcoin's at $1 million, then imagine what it means for Ethereum, because it is not just Wall Street financializing onto the blockchain, but it's AI, but it's also part of the U.S. focus on AI dominance, right? Ethereum plays a strategic role there. Now, if MicroStrategy had triple the upside of Bitcoin, then that means, in theory, the Ethereum treasuries could triple whatever Ethereum could do. So,
whoa! So he's cranking it. So it's kind of wild, right? We heard Tom Lee talk literally 100x price increase for Ethereum. And you know what, friends? There's been a lot of racism out there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bit more racist than everybody else. Actually, let's make it more anti-Semitic. Okay, we're going after everybody here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do what would 100x... Oh my gosh, it goes through the roof. Is this even... I don't even know if this is legally allowed, friends, for me to do such a... Yeah, I just... Can I... Here's the thing. Can I draw this with a straight face and say Bitcoin... Ethereum's going to 350... You know what? Friends, let's just crank it. I'm finding it hard just to take it seriously. We're gonna go 100x higher. But you know what, friends? Everyone laughed at Tom Lee back in 2017 when Bitcoin was about 1 to 3,000, and he was going on CNBC. He's like, you know what's interesting about Tom, friends? Tom Lee, his investors pulled out from him because they thought he had lost his mind. Yeah, could you believe it? Such a nice guy. He had literally when Bitcoin was like 3,000, he went on TV saying this thing was going to like 25,000, maybe even 40,000 in the next couple of years. You know, but then what happens is he goes to 20, and then he thought it was still bullish, right? Goes down to 6, comes back down. I remember he got like a bit embarrassed at the end of 2018. They asked him, he felt a bit embarrassed because it went from 20 back to like 3.5, right? But he still stuck to his guns. And yeah, he actually says in this interview from Bankless that they literally, friends, all big investors pulled out from him. They go, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. This is they say it was drug money, laundering money. It was Bitcoin. Friends, literally, just think about the kryptonite that Richard Hart coins are to crypto. Yes, that's what Bitcoin was to literally everything else. Kind of funny. All you knew, a lot of you came in only in 2021 when everybody's cheering about it and getting on stage. It's literally, friends, you're literally watching. Look how innocent he was, by the way. Look how cute and innocent Tom Lee is. They literally like aggressive, like we're getting out. You're a gambler, you're scum. This is drug money, cartel, terror heists. You know, illegal child adult activities, if you know what I mean, Epstein Island. That's pretty much what it is. So it's kind of wild as well here. He's got estimating Ethereum's value. It's interesting, right? So you know what he says in here as well, friends, in the interview? There's an interesting part. He starts off, he says something like, how often do you see price models for like stocks and just Bitcoin and everything? How often do you see them work? He goes like, really, they don't work. He goes, no one knows what the hell they're doing. He goes, people are like, they're trying to do their spreadsheet stuff. So he's looking at, because people are looking at PE and like they're trying to look at the numbers today. That's what they're doing. And then Tom Lee, because that's why you got to be visionary, friends. Market's smart, man. See, people think, ha ha ha, I have the formula and the numbers. I have the correct price you should be today. No. 99% of the time, you don't have the correct, but 99% of the time. 99% of the time, it's all priced in. Whatever you're thinking about, most of it's priced in, okay? So you got to think about the future. That's why these things trade at such expensive numbers or discounts. It's the mind of the market, so it's quite amazing. And once you're humbled by that, you understand that, yeah, friends, a lot of people can sound smart, but they're still going to get it wrecked. They're still going to get it wrong. And not just to the downside, also to the upside. But guess what? The world is underexposed to crypto. And, you know, everyone's especially underexposed to altcoins. So we're on the right side of history. I feel it. Now let's crack on with the news, friends. So China, after banning crypto 3 days ago, have come out and said they're going to launch their first crypto stablecoin. Well done, Matt. Well done. You got us again, huh? Your 13th ban of the year. Come out. We're going to ban, accept, 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 ban, unban. Okay, we'll put a stablecoin in. By the way, friends, you know those reports. You know those reports. You know how they say, oh, no, it's fake. We never banned it. You know it's bullshit. You know they did. They did, friends. That's how governments work. What they do is they release info and they test to see how the crowd reacts. And if the crowd has the reaction that they like and they can manage, then they do nothing. However, if there is an immediate backlash and they look stupid, the American government does it too, friends. If they look stupid, they look silly, they backpedal. They go, no, I never did that, I never said that, right? Because they have a method for it. It's literally, you're dealing with snakes and scum of just politicians everywhere. It doesn't matter if it's China, doesn't matter what country it is. That's how they operate. They never let you know the full announcement information. First, they get a leaker to come put something in. You know what I mean? They see if everyone reacts. Then the leaker, then they go to somebody else. They start pushing it in. They put like an article or something out here. They go, hey, just write about this issue and then just write about it just to see how people react. They try to creep it in. That's how governments pretty much, they strangle you over time. That's just how it works, man. And it's, look, you only know this if you've ever had somebody that you've come across in your life who has backstabbed the shit out of you. You'll only know this because some people who, I can't even call them people, just scum, who maybe they're really narcissistic, maybe they just, I don't know, don't have a soul, no empathy, just pure trash, okay, subhuman filth. That's what they do, okay? They throw out these testers. So they're so good at manipulating and maneuvering around people, like they don't want to touch, they don't want to get their hand burnt, you know, so they do it slowly, just to see how you react, you know, because they literally, they stand for nothing, you know, and this is how governments work. So, StableCoin SuperCycle once again confirming. You know, I think it's a point now that maybe we'll go and have a look at what Pulse chain prices are doing. Pretty much nothing as we look at it here. PDI is up 3-4%. So yeah, Pulse is literally everything up 0. PW-BTC up 7%, and then Dickie Hart's coin to Dick with Butt. Some say the secret core coin up 2% up here. Nothing really to look at. You know what I mean? We need Ethereum above 4,000. Now, China have tested stablecoins and raised concerns over capital outflows and US dollar dominance. So they've also, to add to that, they've warned that eye-scanning crypto projects could threaten personal privacy and national security. I wonder how they know that. Oh, maybe because they're literally peeping into everybody's buttholes. But also, friends, we know now every government's doing it, dude. Every single government, man. They're literally... I don't know if you want to smell what I had for dinner last night, Mr. Government. I just, you know, if that's your thing, good luck to you. But that's, you know, they all do it, right? They're here to manage the population. As friends, as we know, it's non-human intelligence. That's why, friends, whenever you see, oh, look, I got a Russian babushka here. When you see, look, when you're watching someone in like, maybe they're a person in a suit, you know, you're a bit of your Nick Fuentes type of dudes, you know, out here, and they're getting really passionate about, oh, the government and the people here, bro. They're not the people. It's the non-human intelligence. How many times have we got to go through this, okay? Do you understand this is how the game freaking works? It's been going on since forever. It's a cycle. It's a cycle. It's literally they change your face, change your face, change your face, but it's the same actions. Change your face, same actions. Change your face, same actions. We're literally trending one way. Have you noticed how the trend of more government control and overreach and all the other things and these words we use, hey, have you noticed how it's been going on for literally freaking 100 years? Have you noticed that? But all the people who put the laws in 100 years ago are dead. Have you noticed that? Gee, I wonder what's going on. I wonder if Earth isn't ours. I wonder if we're being controlled by non-human intelligence, which we only have like 450,000 pieces of evidence to suggest that we are. I wonder if that's what's going on, huh? Nah, it's probably just like one guy in government. We just got to get rid of him and everything fixes itself. It's not going to fix itself, dude. They're never going to fix themselves. You get it? Maybe you don't get it. You know what I mean? This is the thing, friends. Like, you know, not everyone was born to make it. They are. Like, someone's got to stay in the system. You know, thank you for paying off all the debt, by the way. If you're holding government currency, your purchasing power is being used every year to funnel its way into deep state military tech. You fund Lockheed Martin. You fund Skunkworks. You fund the anti-gravity tech. You fund a lot of these advanced sciences. You get nothing because you're like just you're a blue pill cock. You know what I mean? Like they have no respect for the population anyway. I mean, like look at the bullshit they've thrown your way and you gobble it up every time. Oh, the Jenga tower, the third Jenga tower fell. Totally organic. Oh, let me get my 7th vaccine for a flu. Totally real. Like, oh yes, a Zubat Pokemon definitely had sex with a Pokeball and it was so natural and organic it made this virus, even though we know it came directly from a lab. Like, okay, friends, the more people will just keep believing this junk, the less respect they have. That's why you're never going to get any of these answers. We know this, you know? So, but then after you learn this, which you've learned, okay, you got two options. You can stay in the system and whinge like everybody else, and I don't like that, or come to the better system. There you go. Crypto. Can't print more of my currency. Big news as well, friends. Moving on. This is big news. And by the way, this is 1.5 years too late, okay? Every Coinbase token, okay, so you know Coinbase chain, base chain, every token will be able to be bought on Coinbase. Now, I told you about this literally 1.5 years ago, March 2024, and they finally made an announcement on it. So every base token will be traded on Coinbase. Jesse Polak said, no listing is required. Users can search and buy directly. This is huge, friends. Coinbase have 110 million customers. So not everyone knows how to go on chain or have wallets or anything out here. So what's exciting about this is these people are going to come in and they're going to start degenning on Coinbase. The thing is, but here's the thing. There's hundreds of thousands of tokens. So I don't know how they're going to find stuff, number one. But number two as well, it will be probably in everyone's advantage to get a wrapped token listed on Coinbase chain. Because you just never know. Like what if everybody who comes in is a Coinbase customer, you know? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to think about, but yeah, that's what everyone has to do. Because then a Coinbase customer, if your coin isn't listed on the Coinbase exchange, they just go to the DEX area and buy it. But there's 100,000 plus tokens, you know what I mean? So we'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. Trump has now teamed up with OpenAI to deploy ChatGPT in federal agencies for $1 each. Okay, this is, friends, when I saw this, I go, okay, now I can 100% confirm. Matthew Brown, who worked for the Pentagon, he's a UFO whistleblower in fear for his life, confirmed, they got all the UFO tech. He literally says, guess what? We live in a matrix reality. He literally worked for the Pentagon, okay? He made a tweet. Remember, friends, I made one of my UFO videos. He made a tweet. In one of the messages, he said, the White House already has a sentient AI, and Sam Altman, the OpenAI guy, he actually killed it. So they have a sentient AI. It's way more advanced than what we have, the population. Okay, well, it makes total sense. You know that, right? They always have the more advanced stuff. That's number one. Number two, he also said that the White House was given some powerful AI, and they use it to predict the future. Okay, now, he didn't touch on what does predict the future mean. You know what I mean? Is it statistically estimating how people react if you release a press conference? It could be something like that. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Like, imagine someone made a model where they just fed the AI the government release of information, and then the people's reactions after that. And then the AI just basically learned, oh, these are the languages you got to use if you want to basically release unfavorable information to the people. These are the words you got to, you know what I mean? It might be something like that. Is it pretty? But I don't know. Maybe it really is predicting the future. Who knows? I guess we'll get more context on that later on. President Trump has said he thinks Elon Musk is a good person. I think he had a bad moment, a really bad moment, but he's a good person. So they are kissing and making up now. I love you guys. I'm just telling you, I just don't trust any of them. I don't trust any of them. Okay, and if you just, bro, come on, like you just watched the president defend the satanic cult, Pedophile Island, man. 1,000 victims. By the way, Juliet, one of the victims, now follows me on Twitter. Hello, Juliet. You're a lovely lady. We appreciate your story. She was the lady, unfortunately, she was abused sexually by Jeffrey Epstein, and she saw him shapeshifting. Yeah, she told his story out, and then it cross-corroborates with other stuff. So, and then she also revealed, she goes, that island wasn't a party island. She goes, it wasn't Diddy's house. She goes, people think it was a Diddy's house thing. It wasn't a Diddy's house. She just said there were all these just cold, dark rooms, and it was a fertility lab. Yeah. And then you're probably wondering, oh, what's that got to do with anything? Look, friends, I don't have all the answers. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I'm just telling you, all the people involved in this sick stuff, you know, children go missing. They go missing around the world. You know, the favorite spot to go grab children from, friends, is third world country natural disasters. Now, here's the thing. We already know now they make the natural disasters themselves. So they either wait for them or they cause them themselves. They go in and they just swoop the kids. Now, one of the things that we're using, I know, friends, this is when I'm talking, we're long on the conspiracy super cycle. This is the stuff, when you're holding government fiat, this is what they're funding, okay? Some of their, like, you know, their Navy, their Black Ops teams, what they've done is they've taken children from these third world countries and they just disappear. Now, in one of the stories, something Jake Barber and it was Michael Herrera, okay, they weren't working together, just two cross-corroborating stories like 20 years apart, same story, right? One of the groups of people that they take are young kids where they have some sort of tester where you have good, what they call psionic ability. Now, psionic is using your brain. I don't know what it is. Maybe they've got a slightly enlarged pineal gland, right? Which is the cone thing in your head, you know, like that sixth sense thing. And apparently they're using it to like operate the ships, which is the UFO spaceships. So we don't know any of that, but look, I'm just telling you, that's all happening. Okay, yeah, we don't have all the answers. There's ups and downs left and right, but it's being funded. I don't care if like how much the extent is or which countries. I don't care. That's all being funded. The public can't see it. It's on deep state budget stuff. They just make excuses, and so I'm long crypto. We're gonna pump. Now, cracking on, friends. President Trump has announced $600 billion Apple investment plan to bring manufacturing back to the USA. So, yeah, I mean, we see this all the time, you know, his tariffs. We want to bring back manufacturing, bring all the jobs back and do all these things. Yeah, we'll see. You know what, friends? I just realized something as well. It could be that the White House has been prepped on, they've been briefed on, obviously they've been briefed on their AI technology, and they've probably sat them down and they've said, look, this is how fast it's growing. Okay, it's literally on this line, and they'll probably say, hey, we should have automated bots within 10 years. We should, maybe in 5 years, we'll have a bot like more economicized, or, you know, more like not as super expensive. And then maybe another 5 years from that, we'll be able to have, you know, you'll be able to just like squirt a family-friendly type of squirt, of course, just squirt some AI chip configuration into their head and do something like that. So maybe that's why Donald Trump is like, okay, well, if we get all the bots to do that, we just bring the manufacturing back now. Because in 5 to 10, he said nobody can see this now. No one can see it now. But in 10 years, not even going to be humans operating the stuff, but America's making everything. And the bots are super, the robots are super cheap to make because they're going to make all the robots, right? So that could be it. You know what I mean? No one's thinking about this. That's why I'm telling you, friends, when markets panic and go down, remember like Trump and the tariffs, and was like, no one's listening to what I'm saying because it's just prices are going down. Okay, so see how we can't figure things out. Well, I'm hoping that we get to a state of euphoria eventually, and I'm having rational conversations like, oh, we just had 15,000 top signals appear, but no one wants to listen to them. I hope we get that. We'll see. Also, friends, breaking news as well. So Roman Storm, the Tornado Cash developer, they found him guilty of running an unlicensed money transfer business. I think it's an injustice that he's even found guilty of anything. I hope it's just one of those things where they find him guilty to not set a precedent, and then they just let him go after like a month or two, just to like let him out of the system with like a special grant. I hope it's something like that. I hope it's nothing nefarious. The jury could not reach a verdict on money laundering or North Korea sanction charges, and I've written this is an injustice. So remember, you want to know, friends, Tornado Cash is privacy technology. Okay, that's why, look, man, I think it's, guys, I think it's very obvious now. Look what they're doing, dude. Okay, if you're involved in anything to do with privacy, what if Trump is out next term, right? And then they just put, what if America, what if you guys just vote some losers back in, some like wokies, and they bring it back and they erase a lot of Trump stuff. They put the Tornado Cash in because you don't know, man. Because these friends, you got to think ahead, especially if you're Richard Hart. Because when price goes up, everything's happening. Okay, but what if it's price going down? What if people like remove too many good crypto things? What if they do too many threatening stuff? You don't know. You never know. It's not worth it. Okay, so why have restless sleeps at night when you can just avoid that? How do you avoid that? You say it wasn't me. It wasn't me. You know, I didn't make it. It's not my privacy thing. But I still can't help but be optimistic for the future, right? When you have Tomley.
The simplest way to think about Bitcoin is that it's gaining traction as replacement for gold. I think that...
Now remember, Natalie on the right, she's a Bitcoin maxi. Okay, remember Natalie, friends? Natalie, you'd go her. So Natalie went on Fox News and she's like, look at the global M2 liquidity line up together with Bitcoin. I just looked at it like, uh-oh, something don't smell right.
I think that if someone wanted to understand the use case for Bitcoin, and there's many, but they're not too, they don't have a lot of conviction around something. To me, I could say easily it should supplant gold. And so I think Bitcoin should be, over $1 million over time. And then I kind of prescribing to the view that there's probably a chance that maybe the 4-year cycle is ending for Bitcoin because of the way institutional adoption of that thesis is taking place. And so you have institutional and essentially permanent holders of Bitcoin coming in. So should be good. So I think Bitcoin should really build upon this 120 before the end of the year. So
what I love most about this clip is CoinTelegraph. You're a bunch of cucks, dude. Why did you cut out the Ethereum part? Why'd you do that? I know you did. Why'd you cut out the Ethereum part? He smoked on Ethereum. That was the most interesting and entertaining part of the whole thing. It was right after. Why'd you cut that out? Why do you have to be like, Bitcoin? So this is what happened. Yeah, Tom Lee, he smokes it. He basically says, ETH-BTC, in a nutshell, he's basically bullish. I am saying ETH-BTC is going to go up. It's going to surprise them. It's going to do well. Ethereum is way more upside than Bitcoin, and the value capture is just like totally mispriced by the market. But yeah, she immediately claps back, and she says, no, too many risks with Ethereum. And it's kind of funny. It's such a cringe lame answer. First thing she says is, oh, but the whole Ethereum proof of stake. As she just said that, I was just like, come on, bro. No one cares. Have you spoken to anybody in crypto? No one cares. But that's why I'm telling you, friends, when people see a price go down, what we naturally do is we go, why did it go down? What's the story? Why did it go down? So when it went down, what were all the Bitcoin maxis saying? They were saying, oh, Ethereum went down because the market has rejected proof of stake. That's what they said. Okay, that's why they said, oh, proof of stake sucks. Okay, And what I was saying is, look, the business cycle's down, man. It's a reflection of the business cycle. Okay, people are less optimistic about the future. That's what I was saying. So that's it. Who's right, who's wrong? It doesn't matter, dude. It doesn't matter. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about being short or long. You and I are long and strong. Like, subscribe, belly button, or catch you soon.